Three, two, one. Hi everyone, I'm Paula from Xrthur, and I am really super excited to be interviewing a very special person who has given so much to Xrthur as a volunteer, at the same time as being under tremendous pressure seeking asylum in this country. And Brittney actually made the news, Pink News, The Guardian, and many other big publications featured stories about Brittney because they were the first person to achieve asylum for being non-binary. So Brittney and I spent a lot of time together, and I've heard a lot of terrible things about how LGBTQ people are treated in El Salvador and other parts of the world, which I didn't really know about that much until I met Brittney. Brittney, would you like to give us like a short synopsis of your incredible story and maybe, conclude with how you're feeling now, what transformations have occurred for you, and just encouraging words to other people who are going through similar struggles in life?
Yeah, thank you very much, Paula. I'm really happy to be here with you because we spend a lot of time doing many things, and so really special in my life. And
You
I
too.
really love you a lot. And I think something that's really important for me to share. It's also how important is sometimes to have a community, and I found that at Moves, uh, going back to the story of my life, I had a lot of traumas and a lot of discrimination and persecution back in the country I was born. I originally born in El Salvador, and I suffered many persecution for being different. Uh, when I was really young, I really didn't knew what was being non-binary or what does this means or anything like that. So I didn't have any idea because in El Salvador we don't have like a culture to educate people about gender identity, sexual orientation, and everything. So I grown up with a bad feedback about LGBT community. Basically, the feedback I got for any gay man is like any gay man, what they want is to be a woman and to cross dress or being weird, let's say. That's the feedback I got when I was back in my country. So I grown up with that, say, thinking that if I was gay or LGBT, I will be someone wrong, someone sick. And across time, I didn't have the opportunity to explore my own gender identity, how I felt comfortable until I grown up. And when I grown up and I came out of the closet as a gay man, uh, I started to explore different things. I always knew I didn't want it to be a woman, but I like the idea of use feminine stuff, like sometimes wear lipstick or earrings or having my hair blonde or something like that. I like the idea of that. Even if I don't define myself as a woman, I always like the idea of that. And all the times I allow myself to explore that back in El Salvador, those were the time when I most suffer and when I have like attacks from people on the streets. I even was beaten up by the police because they wanted to teach me how to be a man. And those things really traumatized me. And when I was back in El Salvador, I had this kind of conflict with myself if I wanted who I wanted to be and what will be the consequence of being that person in my country. I started to do a lot of activism and volunteer back in El Salvador with LGBT people. And I figured out the reality was horrible. Many people I knew, they were murdered and hate crimes. And this is not something I really like to share, but hate crimes are horrible in Latin America. They are actually made with hate. People are kidnapped, they are tortured back there. There are reports about that. And LGBT people basically they are tortured, they burn their skin with cigarettes, they cut their skins. Sometimes they kill the people with rocks, smashing rocks with the heads, and so many disgusting ways to kill LGBT people because they thought they had the right to do, because they thought LGBT people are a kind of cancer or something like that. So when there was a moment back in around 2017 when I asked myself, what are you gonna do with your life? Because reach a point when you cannot handle it anymore. You cannot be hidden anymore, and you want to live your life. So in that moment, and after suffering persecution, after seeing my friends being killed and stuff like that, I took the decision to leave the country, seeking a place where I can be free and I can really explore my identity and be the person I wanted to be. By that time, I didn't know what I wanted to be. I just knew I wanted to be someone different. So in that way, I came here to the UK to seek asylum in the needing of freedom, of opportunity to be a person that are allowed to just basically do what I want with my life. And I found it really difficult, the asylum process, but I always describe all the process of the asylum in two sides. The legal side, which involves the home office and everything, which was really traumatizing and horrible, and the human side, which involves the people from the UK and especially from Liverpool, because I am so blessed that the home office sent me to Liverpool, and I found a big community that really loves me and really took care of me. And that's something I really like from Air Moves and you, Paola, because you never judge me. I remember there was one time when we were in a drag king workshop, and there was someone else, I think it was from the BBC, and they were like, but it's only girls here, but it's still there, but they are like honorary girl. It's just you. I mean, it's like
Lovely.
yeah, finding like you allowed me to be as much as feminine as I wanted, and don't judge in that, and don't say or not questioning if I was actually trying to be a woman or something like that. It meant a lot to me, because this is something I really talk about in my therapy, because something I want to make people is to understand. And when I came here to the UK, just to put them on context, the asylum process started to broke my mental health, because it's a horrible process, a tough process that just is basically made to kick you out of the country. So they are gonna do all the stuff they can to get you out of the country. So the thing is, when I when I was through that process, I started to go to counseling, and then later I started to take antidepressives because my mental health was going lower and lower and lower. And by that moment, there was a moment where we started to talk about my identity with my therapist. And we talk about that if I wanted to be a trans woman or something like that, I say, no, I don't see myself as a woman, honestly. But I like to be feminine sometimes, but sometimes I also like to be masculine. I like to leave my beard and don't care about that. I like to leave my body hair and stuff like that. But there were other days when I like to shave and look pretty, use makeup. And then she explained me what is being non-binary means. And for all that people that doesn't understand what non-binary means, so usually this is the easiest way to explain it. Usually we learn that there exists only two genders, masculine and feminine, but the reality and the truth is, in society, biology and everything, is more complex than that. And we are just and has been for forever with us, but we are just started to understand this. And that's why when you see stuff in social media, the television, people say they are social media, people don't understand, because we just started to have this visibility recently, but this has been forever if you do your research. So basically, non-binary is like an umbrella term we say umbrella term because it has many other tiny terms inside. So to describe anyone that doesn't feel that they fit on the male or female category, could be someone that is gender fluid that feels perfectly fine to be between them. Someone as me, that's probably I see myself a little bit gender non-conforming, because in my point of view and in my experience, I don't like to label things with a gender stuff, you know. So in that sense, this no, I see myself as a gender non-conforming because I see like I don't fit in any of those categories, and I don't stick to one in indefinitely in to one side. So this like in a big sample what it's being non-binary. So I understood that across the therapy, and with the freedom I got here in the UK, and with the opportunity to have a community that fully understood me and that doesn't judge me, that they give me the opportunity to explore myself. And in fact, you being also so supportive in that way, because I remember for Halloween's you were like, I can give you a dress or something like that. If you want to use a wig, just go ahead. And I was like, yeah, I want to try it because I never had that in my life. You give me some makeup. I remember one time I was like, I actually look good on makeup, and I really like that.
I didn't realise all this. Thank you so much for appreciating those times we've spent like that and having fun, because as you know and I know, life can be so painful and so difficult and complicated that those times where we get together as a community and we have fun and we put makeup on, we put dresses on, and or men's suits, you know, whatever you feel like on the day, really, for some people, isn't it? Including me. And you know, some people don't understand that, they don't get it because they're still in this mindset of like being better than everyone, getting on, being at the top, and there's no time for this celebration. But I think the great thing about the queer community is celebration is high up on the agenda. There's an awareness of the importance of that, because what is the point of all the hard work without this time to celebrate? And I just want to say, tonight you look so beautiful. I love the leopard print, the bit of blonde hair there. It looks absolutely stunning. You're such a beautiful soul. What I love about you, and you're actually the fourth person I've met. One of them is my own dad, who left the seminary because he didn't want to be a Catholic priest. My dad, because he said he's interested in birds, as he called them, but the other people, because they were.
I was also interested in birds, but different.
What birds? Yeah, male birds. But this is what fascinates me about you, and this is why, even though we're different ages and we're from different cultures, I think we could really connect on our spiritual beliefs, our beliefs in goodness and truth and fun and doing the right thing, you know, helping people. As I said before, you are such a good example to anyone listening to this who's struggling with something terrible. Believe me, Brittney was under the most dreadful pressure, and you know, there's a health condition as well to deal with, and you got COVID as well. I remember that, but you have always been a giver, and I think a giver, when you've got nothing, you had nothing but your skills, and you said to Earth Moves and other charities, what can I do for you? And this is such an inspiring thing to me, because a lot of people will kill and go, oh, I'm too weak and pathetic. I've been through all this. I can't do anything for anyone. But I think we all can, even if it's just a little smile or a word of encouragement. We can all be there for each other. Everyone should have the right as well to do that. But finding out about what happens in El Salvador was like truly a shock. But then I shouldn't really be shocked, because it wasn't that long ago in this country when the police were beating up gays. I think that event, the horrible, what's it called, Stonewall event, where the police battered loads of gay people. So, you know, hopefully El Salvador, where activists like yourself, you know, highlighting this issue in a safe place that you can do now, not while you're there, obviously. Because I know about it now, and these things like spiral out. I think we should never take our rights for granted, because gay people had to really challenge the laws and things like that for the emancipation that they've got in Britain, but not all over the world. There's many, many countries who where it's very dangerous to be gay. And I think it's or queer. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. You know, it's just like it's never made sense. Homophobia or transphobia, it's never really non-binary phobia. It's never really, I've never really understood it, because I just think the contribution of gay people is incredible. There's so many gay scientists and givers and, you know, revolutionaries. How can we say that it's wrong to be queer, you know, and beat people up because of it?
I think it's something that, like you said, it's really difficult to. I mean, it's not like I feel smarter or something like that, but there's something that I it certainly doesn't click in our minds, because I call it for the education or the personal research we have done in our lives that makes us understand that people should be free to do whatever they want with their sexual life or with their identity. And as you said, we met a lot of wonderful people that give a lot to this country or give a lot to the community, and they are hard fighters in everything, and they just deserve an applause, you know. But sometimes it's so stupid that the way people are homophobic or racist, you know. And I just remember, because part of my new job right now is to work with Many Hands One Heart, which is the local LGBT supportive network here in Liverpool. So I'm happy. My job now is to work with them. We have a podcast called The Mic Drop, and in one of the episodes of The Mic Drop, we talk about.
We'll put a link to that in the description. Send me a link.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we put a link in the description. And there's one episode when I'm talking with Ariane, which is she is a Black lesbian refugee, and she got her status a few years ago.
Is she the lady with the fabulous voice?
Yes.
Oh wow, I am like a big fan of hers. She's incredible. Yeah. When's she doing another performance? I want to see her sing again.
Yeah, we want to have the Hobbit again this year.
Oh wow. But you know, her story was so tragic. I was actually crying when I first heard it. After I heard her sing, it was so moving that her girlfriend wasn't she beaten to death?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So the thing is,
unbelievable how that could go on, and she can still get up and sing like that and move people. She's an incredible woman.
She's so an inspiration for me, because you know, by the time we released that episode, you probably have heard there's an anti-refugees bill right now going into the Congress and everything, which is really dangerous, and basically it's just made to don't allow refugees to come to the UK. And it's a horrible stuff that Priti Patel is doing right now.
She's horrible, isn't she? A mean and nasty woman. When her own ancestors must have been in that position when they came to Britain. You know, imagine if we were like that to them, she wouldn't even be here.
So the thing is by the time we released that, there was a lot of people saying the refugees, they came just to this country to be lazy, to be in benefits, or to steal jobs and whatever. And then Ariane just told us her story because she got her status, she started to study nursery, and during the COVID pandemic, she was on the front line taking care
I can see it to be like that. She seems like a real giver.
of COVID patient. So she came to this country. She's giving a lot to this country. She's a nurse right now. She just finished uni. And
Wow,
she got her
she's
degree.
amazing.
She got her degree, and as I say, she was fighting against COVID on the front line. She's a black refugee, and people are still thinking we came to ruin this country. But the truth is, we feel so grateful for this opportunity. And
I've met loads of lovely people from many hands, really have, who volunteered and I've met through you. And I just really admire them because I don't think I could do it. You must have to be so strong to go to another country where then you've got to fight to stay there. But yeah, I mean, in your case, you were really helpful to us, and I've learned a lot from you as well. And I've seen you be really helpful and kind to other people, other asylum seekers and refugees. So, you know, you've used this in a really positive way, and your story is really positive. Just to talk about qualifications, I know you've got a master's in religious studies, is that right?
I am a professor
Theology.
in theology, yes.
What a beautiful subject. And this is so great that even though when we met, like, your English has become so good now, you're so fluent, but some of our earliest conversations were around like spiritual and queer themes, which is like two things that don't often come up. And then there's Talk as well, who's involved in Earth Moves, who also was down to be a priest, and now he does like queer religious artworks and things like that. So just putting a new spin on it, because, you know, the thing is, Catholicism's got some lovely things, but it is homophobic, unfortunately. The new Pope, though, I think he's going to change things. He seems to be a lot more open-minded and big-hearted than previous popes. So hopefully he'll introduce some reforms into the Catholic Church. But how did you find spirituality, you know, and this faith in the light and the good? How did that get you through your struggles when you were fighting for status, when you're trying to survive in El Salvador, during like the heartbreak when you and your boyfriend split up, stuff like that? How did that, your spiritual beliefs, how did they get you through it?
Well, the way I live my spiritually is a really big thing. I can't even write a book about that. And
you should.
But I started, or I was born out as a Catholic boy, you know, in a really Catholic country, really fulfilled with Christianism. And in fact, all my life I studied in a schools. So, you know, nuns how they are. And
Yeah.
so I always had that kind of learning in my head about God and everything. And then when I was a young teenager, around 16, 15 years, something like that. Well, this is really funny, but I wanted to, I started to think the idea of being a priest, but part of me really wanted to be, because I always served on the church. I was part of, really proactive in the church. So a lot of people think you might wanted to be a priest because you wanted to hid your sexuality and everything. But the truth is, I wanted to be a priest because, as you say, I was being a giver. And I think by that moment, the best way, or the biggest way I found it to be a giver and give my life to people, it was serving in the church.
Yeah,
so that was my thinking by that time. That's what I wanted to be a priest, because I wanted to serve people. I wanted to serve God. Later, I went to the seminary and I started to study theology and that kind of stuff. I added a degree, and then is when it came the first fracture, which was between my sexuality and what I wanted to be. So it's not like I was hiding my sexuality in this thinking of being priest. But on the other, but in the other side, it was more that I started to think about, okay, right, you want to serve people, that's cool, but you like boys, you like men's, you really like them, you really, and in fact, this is something really a little bit polemic maybe, but I lost my virginity when I was 14 years. So even before I went to the seminary, I had a man in my life. So so you know, it's like it's like before I went to the seminary, I already tasted how it is to have a man in that sense. So I knew it exactly what it meant to feel that. So I told him, I said, you already proved it. You like it. You really love it. You really love it. But at the same time, it was like it was this conflict. Like, really wanted to serve people, but at the end, I am an honest person, and I am a
You
person
are.
that always I am clear with people.
You
So
are.
I just thought I can't live a lie. I
Do you know,
can't.
isn't it a shame that the Catholic Church, never mind, won't let people have heterosexual partners, won't let people have gay partners, and yet a priest has to take on all the suffering of the community, the funerals, people's problems on their own. And, you could have, obviously that wasn't your path, but anyone who's gay shouldn't let that, it's a shame that that stops them from serving in the way they want to serve humanity or God or their spirituality, because it's forbidden in the Catholic Church. I think women should be priests as well. I can't understand why only men can do it and lesbians should be able to do it. What the hell is wrong with that? And Protestant religions let gay people be priests and things, don't they? But my dad was also an altar boy. Did I tell you that? My dad was an altar boy.
No.
Yeah. My dad really wanted my dad to be a priest, and he went to seminary and that, but he said no.
I remember
He
that.
messed the exam up deliberately because he didn't want to be a priest. But they were so involved in the Catholic Church that one of the family had to be, you know what I mean? And my dad, he knew the mass in Latin and things like that. But my dad, for his age, is the least homophobic person I know, because he was at sea and his family were entertainers. So a lot of they met a lot of gay people. So what if anyone was listening to this now and they're going through something really like hard, like you were, what advice would you give them? What advice would you give anyone who needs to find in themselves a lot of resilience right now? What things would you suggest that they do?
Well, the first thing maybe will be like, try to understand that you're not alone. And that will be the first advice I would give to people, because when I was on my darkest moments, even have suicidal thoughts, because
Oh no.
it's okay to talk about this, because people
Yeah,
don't talk
yeah,
often about this, and it's really important to understand that a lot of people think about suicide all the time, and most people that we think. So I am now in a better position, by the way, but it's still, when I was in that darkest moment, in the very rock bottom, and I was thinking to kill myself. I understood that it was okay to seek help. I understood in seek help doesn't necessarily means like a psychologist or something like that. Sometimes we can start with friends, with someone that we really trust, or a familiar, or someone else, uh, someone that we feel that they are close to us. It will be the first step, I would say. And sometimes we think we are not enough to get through some things, and sometimes we need actually help. And help, and as I said, help doesn't necessarily mean therapy. Sometimes help means know you are important for some people. Help sometimes means a smile, a joke that makes you feel happy or something like that. So help can come in different ways. It doesn't needs to be only like a session in a room, you sitting in a couch talking about what depressed you. It's more about something that really changed the mood, and it's a step by a step. Something I would say, like, I fought for 2.5 years to get my status. So something I always say is it was a slow process that was killing me. But at the same time, it was a slow process to get it through. So I learned that sometimes all I need is just to walk one day at a time, survive one day at a time. And the more you walk, the more you understand that it's going to be a little bit easier to carry on. And later, when you can carry on with that, you can start to think about a solution. But it's a step by step. Because we feel sometimes overwhelmed, and that's what is sometimes kills us. Because sometimes we want to take away the pain, take away all the worries and everything, but sometimes it's not possible. Sometimes you just need to figure out how to make the day and slowly recovering again. So that will be my advice: to build resilience. That it's not going to be at what time. It's going to be a slow, but we are all strong enough to do it. We all have that inside of us. And if we think we cannot do it by ourselves, we should learn how to receive a hand or someone else that helps us to get through.
That is absolutely beautiful, Brittney. You are such an inspiration to me and so many other people. I'm looking forward to doing your workshop again on making a film for free, and being involved in our next crazy film projects. And my wardrobe is open to you if you want it. So I'm just really feeling good after this interview. You've really lifted my heart. It's been really fun, and you've showed so much vulnerability and shared so much stuff with people. I'm sure what you've done is you've helped people who've listened to this interview and give them hope, and that's what you do. So thank you for being you and for spending time tonight in this lovely connection. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for
Bye
watching.
everyone, see you in the next video. Bye.